Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Holdem Hand of the Day, brought to you by GoodEvents Poker, affiliate of JowPoker.com. Now, my name is Johnny B. Good, and I will be helping you with different hand situations. So if there's anything that you would like me to review or talk about on my cast, please feel free to comment below. And go ahead and check out the links too. And I'll be happy to talk to you when I can. So today we're going to be talking about how to handle large pairs, premium hands in early position or the blinds when facing a raise. Now, as you can see in this situation, according to my Poker Tracker 4 stats, I have zero information on these players here. One key to be a profitable player, you need to be able to be aggressive. It's really hard to be aggressive in early position, and you got to know when to handle it. So you got to play your cards smart, you got to be aggressive, and you got to have patience. You can't be playing everything. So in this situation, patience is out the door because I have King, my very first hand. So I have to play this, and I have to play it strong, and I have to play it smart to gain respect at this table, to let them know that I'm here for business. So in this situation, I have to play this very strong in hopes that I will win and I will gain respect. So in that aspect, let's get started here. As you can see, under the gun folds, we get a raise, minimum raise from Marie, still in early position, just for the minimum. Now, with that said, we got to assume that he's got a decent hand. He's raised in an early position. Yeah, he only did a minimum, but to raise an early position, most players are going to have a relatively decent hand, even if you are short stacked, or even if you are short-handed here, like we are here, relatively short-handed at least. So it folds around, and as you can see, the button and the small blind both call. What does this tell me? Well, this tells me a few things. Well, or possible things. One, he's not respected at the table. For the big blind, or for the button to call him here, and the small blind to call him here, small blind had odds to call at that point, but it tells me that he could have almost anything, pretty much. And how do we handle that? Well, we have King. So let's be realistic here. We need to know that at least one of these people are holding an ace. This is probably more than likely the truth. Holding a king, maybe even two kings in there, I have zero outs. So I need to isolate here, and I need to break this down to a one-on-one battle as quickly as I can. Now, with King, Ace, you're getting it in there. You're trying to get as much in there regardless as you possibly can pre-flop, because you got one of the two best hands. The only thing that's stronger than you right now is Ace. So with Ree only betting 20 cents, maybe he is waiting for a 3-bet here, and he's going to 4-bet me with Ace or Ace-King suited. We know that Lev doesn't really have much, and Kane, he's just calling because he has odds, pretty much. Now, we're speculating, obviously, but on the other hand, too, we got to take into consideration they might have a decent hand. But as it sits right now, I have a beast. So I'm going to play that beast the way it should be played. Now, we're going to 3-bet, but how much are we going to 3-bet? That's the real question. It really just depends on the texture of the actual game itself, how the momentum's going, what people have been betting, how strong they've been betting, how crazy they've been playing. All those things play into consideration on how you're going to handle this situation. If players are playing crazy, you're going to bet high, because if you bet low, they're going to call you regardless. If they're playing really passive, you have a little bit more room to bet relatively light and them still fold. Right now, I don't know. But I am taking the assumption that because they only minimum bet and we have 2 callers, that we have a lot of calling stations at this table. And that means that I can keep my 3-bet relatively low, and I'm going to isolate more than likely. Now, in a hypothetical situation, if you're going by the metagame, typically you're going to want to go 3 times the blind as a standard raise, and then for each caller, add 1 more times the blind. Now, in this situation, I'm 3-betting. So we're thinking 2.5 times, 2.5 times the original raise, plus 1 time for each one. I think I can isolate for less. So I'm going to go off of actual pot value. We got 70 cents in the pot. I'm thinking that we could go anywhere between 1.1 to 1.5 to be able to get some players out here. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm going 4 ways, I'm out some change. It's better than being out half my stack. So let me go ahead. In this situation, I went ahead and I put in for 90 cents. Now, realistically, you probably wanted to go about $1.25, maybe $1, somewhere in that range. I went relatively low. I'm a new player. They don't have anything on me. I don't have anything on them. If they're a good player, they're going to respect me. Kane here's got 15 bucks at this table, so he's been running pretty good. I'm going to take him as a good player. Lev, he's relatively new. But he's lost a little bit of money here, so he's lost some hands. I'm hoping that these back two respect my 3-bet. Obviously, recalls me, right? And my isolation ends up working. So now, because what do we know now? Well, we know that he called me, and he didn't 4-bet me. So what does that tell me? That tells me he doesn't have aces, and he doesn't have kings, and he doesn't have ace-king suited. Might have queens, doubt it. Might have jacks, doubt it. Might have tens. Might have king-queen suited. Might have ace-king off. He still has some relatively decent hands in his range to cause me problems. So let's go ahead and check out the flop. 6-6-5, rainbow. So what does that tell me? That pretty much tells me that he missed for the most part. So if he did hit, then he's either going to do 2 things. One, he's going to bet big, or he's going to try to trap me with like an ace-6 or a 5-5, right? Which are in his range, realistically. Let's keep it real. Ace-6, 5-5, even 6-6, you know. If he's got 6-6, he's definitely trapping. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check to him because I want to know what he has and how aggressive he's going to play this. So I check, and he goes ahead and fires out half the pot. Exactly what I wanted him to do, right? Because now I have room to check raise. Now, the check raise is a very fundamental and strategic move that can win you a lot of money, but if it's overused, will cost you a lot of money. So think of it as like a special move in a video game where you got to build up your energy to get there, and your energy being hands that you had the opportunity to do it and didn't. So you only use this once in a while. Because with experienced players, if you're going to check raise them, you're pretty much saying, I got to get out. Because if they call you, then chances are they have it too, or they're just a bad player. So in this situation, I check raise to the minimum. Now, I would suggest check raising slightly higher, but because he bet half the pot, I'm already coming in low. The dynamics of the game right now is bet low and play, be conservative with your money, but yet aggressive. Even in the first hand, that's the dynamic that's being shown here. So I went ahead and went with that dynamic and only re-raised minimum. He went ahead and called me. Okay, great. He's actually got a 6. Awesome. Or he's got a 5-5. Great. But now, what do we have? We have $6.64. That's over 66 big blinds in this pot, worth my entire stack, worth over his entire stack. And the next bet is pretty much going to be all in if somebody has anything, right? And since I'm out of position and an ace just hit the board, I feel like I'm absolutely screwed here. Like I'm out $3.32, right? I'm out like $3, right? So I mean, that's what I'm thinking right now. So I'm going to go ahead and check to him, and I'm probably going to fold any bet, right? But he goes ahead and checks behind me. What does that tell me? Well, that tells me I'm good. Because if I already put him mostly on like an A6, then I'm golden right now, you know? Because he should have bet that if he had a boat or if he had a full house, he needed to take that down right there. Because he wants that pot's worth more than his entire stack. Take that down, you know? And any experienced player would have tried to take that down right there. And now we blank the river. So, yeah, there's still obviously a possibility he has it. But I'm not putting him on an A6. I'm not putting him on a 5-5. Okay, if he's got 6-6, he beats me with quads. Like, I'm not sweating it, right? Because scared money won't make you money. And you have to play it. So I feel I have the best hand here, and I need to value bet to be able to get him to still call me, but not check raise me on the river. Because if he check raises me on the river, I'm going to end up having a huge decision on my hands, and I don't want that. And I don't want to push all in because I don't want to risk my entire stack and him fold and not get value, or him call and I lose my entire stack. So we got to find that healthy medium. Typically, you could, if you actually had the full house in this situation, you could probably value bet a third of the pot, and you're gonna get some money here. This situation, I need to bet enough to make sure that he can't go over the top, or he's gonna fold. So realistically, I should have probably only bet like $2. Probably between $2 and $2.75 on this pot, because I felt confident that I had this. So I ended up betting $3.15. I fired strong on the river, and at this point, I'm thinking he's probably going to fold, or if he calls me, he's got me beat. So he calls me, and I'm thinking, oh, I lost. But in all reality, he had nothing. Don't know what he had, but he had nothing. And I put him on a relatively good range, and it worked out for me. So if you always assume the worst, that you can put him on a decent hand, but you know that you can't let it go, and you have no proof to tell you otherwise. Like, if I'm looking down at his stats and I see that he plays really tight, I know that I can eliminate the 5-5 in that situation. I can eliminate the 6-6 in that situation, and I put him on like an ace-queen or an ace-jack. This situation, he could be a lag, playing 40% of his hands, raising 25%, and 5-5 would still fall in that range. Any ace suited would fall in that range. So I could easily be beat here, right? But because he checked the ace on the turn, I cannot put him on an ace anymore with the pot as big as it is. I hope it all helped out. If you like what I had to say, go ahead and subscribe to my page here, my channel, and go ahead and check the links below if you just absolutely love poker and we're looking for extra avenues to play. Once again, this is Johnny Be Good signing off.